Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host. Welcome back to the Baseball Head 2. And hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So something actually hilarious happened on in the second game of the Padres Cubs series in the wild card series. And it happened inside the booth. And it's sort of like, the biggest complaint that fans have about, these teams that they put together in the broadcast booth, that a lot of times they don't know what's going on in terms of saying, let's play, say the Cubs, and they don't know anything about the Mets, detail by detail, or detail about the Cubs. So it's always a big complaint that the fans have about these broadcast teams, and they don't do enough homework. But maybe they do, but they may have missed something. They're just coming in, swooping in, But this was actually pretty funny. That happened to Ben McDonald, former Major League pitcher. He pitched for the Orioles. He was number one pick, actually. Back in 87, I think. 1987, 88, something like that. But this happened during the Cubs-Padres wildcard game. I got a couple of things here. The first article is about what happened, and then he responds to it. The response is pretty funny. ESPN MLB analyst says there's zero chance he's watching Network's NHL coverage during playoff baseball. Ben McDonald was on the call for the Cubs-Padres wildcard game. This is from Fox News. ESPN MLB analyst Ben McDonald caught some flack for his reaction. The network's promotion of one of the first NHL games of the season between the Chicago Blackhawks and Florida Panthers. McDonald was on the call for the National League wildcard series between the Cubs and the San Diego Padres when the promotion appeared. I would mention that the Padres lost. Cubs beat them 2-1. Quote, "If you say so, good luck to them," McDonald said when asked if he believed the Panthers could three-peat this year. "Are you asking if I'm going to be watching?" There is zero chance I'll be watching. I'm just going to be honest with you. I will be somewhere, but there's zero chance I'll be watching. John Bucagros, who was a part of ESPN's NHL coverage, was among those who took a jab at McDonald. Quote, "Zero is also how many postseason innings Ben McDonald pitched in his MLB career," he wrote on X. Why are you going to get so nasty? Hockey is not the number one sport in America. And he's American. McDonald explained himself on Thursday during an appearance on Fox Sports' Wake Up Barstool. As far as the hockey stuff goes, when that thing pops up on the screen, I'll be honest, I didn't even know ESPN had the hockey contract. He said, "I know they probably pay for them for more than $1 or $2 for it. I just didn't even know that, to be honest with you." Then when I looked at the dates, that's kind of the same time as playoff baseball. And if I got a choice between preseason or beginning of hockey season in October baseball, I'm probably leaning slightly toward playoff baseball. That's not how I took this. This is not how I took this, the way he started this. He said he wasn't going to watch it. There was nothing that was going to make him watch it. And he had to sort of clean this up because he got a little brushback. But it's not that bad. Let me read you the other article. This is from Awful Announcement, I believe. Now, please, of course, subscribe to Baseball Head 2 and like this video. Headline from Awful Announcing: Ben McDonald addresses his viral NHL comments. I didn't even know ESPN had the hockey contract. Like I said, they don't know what's going on. They get dropped in on these series. They do the best they can in terms of covering the teams. And this is a baseball guy. Unless he's like really into hockey, he's just being honest. You'd rather than be honest. But they don't want to hear that somebody that's, that doesn't watch is gonna watch. I mean, really. They don't want that. I know that they probably paid more than $1 or $2 for it, but I just didn't even know that, to be honest. Ben McDonald's disinterest in the NHL caused quite a stir on ESPN airwaves on Wednesday. On the wildcard series matchup between the Chicago Cubs and San Diego Padres, play-by-play man Kevin Brown began to promote ESPN's upcoming coverage of the NHL's opening night. But as he leaned on McDonald for a testimony, the MLB analyst provided the exact opposite. I think he's just being honest. I don't think he has any interest in hockey. Ben, I know you've got an opinion on this. Panthers three-peat this year? What do you think? Brown asked, referring to the defending two-time Stanley Cup champions. I don't even think he knew that they won one. If you say so, I mean, good luck to him, McDonald replied. Are you asking if I'm going to be watching? Again, he didn't mean this that he was going to watch the baseball. He wasn't going to watch. Quote, no, you'll be watching, of course, because you work for ESPN, and you'll be watching, Brown responded, trying to steer his broadcast partner in the right direction. There is zero chance I'll be watching, McDonald interrupted. I'm just going to be honest with you. He's just being honest. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of times with these broadcasts, they got to be so dishonest to the audience, McDonald's uncommon honesty certainly stood out, as it's never every day you hear an ESPN broadcaster boastfully claim that he won't be watching ESPN programming during an ad read. After making the rounds on social media, the comments elicited a reaction from one of ESPN's most prominent NHL personalities, John Buchargross. Now, I don't know who this guy is. Did he play in the NHL? Who took a dig at the former MLB pitcher over his lack of postseason appearances. He really zinged him. On Thursday, McDonald appeared on FS1's Wake Up Barstool, where he was asked about his now viral exchange. While he insisted he didn't mean any harm, he also doubled down on his disinterest in hockey. When that thing popped up on the screen, I didn't even know ESPN had the hockey contract, to be honest with you, McDonald said. I know they probably paid more than $1 or $2 for it, but I just didn't even know that, to be honest. And then when I looked at the dates and I went, well, that's kind of on the same time as playoff baseball. That's not how he meant it. And if I've got a choice between preseason or beginning of hockey season in October baseball, I'm probably leaning slightly toward playoff baseball, to be honest with you. Well, he's being honest, There's nothing wrong with that. That shouldn't surprise anybody, although such context was certainly lacking from Thursday's conversation with Brown. Rather than stating that ESPN's NHL opening night coverage would conflict with his personal preference for baseball, McDonald made it sound like he had no interest in watching hockey. He didn't. Which could very well be true, but was admittedly odd to hear during a read intended to promote the product. It's also that's something that Keith Hernandez would do. That's something Keith would do. It's also worth noting that McDonald isn't a full-time ESPN employee, so it's perhaps not surprising he wasn't in any rush to embrace being a company man. It also might explain why his clarification, if you can even call it that, came on FS1 as opposed to the worldwide leader in sports. Well, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but this is a very funny story because the media lies, and they'll tell you something's good or that you should watch it, and it's terrible. We know that. This is like an honest moment from somebody. Like I said, this is something that Keith Hernandez would do, where he would be very honest about what's going on. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, please subscribe to Baseball Hut 2, and I'll see you later.